Welcome to this week's edition of A Closer Look. My name is Nick Webster, I'm the health editor for The National, and this week we're at Arabian Travel Market in Dubai, where we're going to find out about the latest trends in hospitality and tourism for GCC and the wider region. Here we are at Arabian Travel Market. It's the busiest travel market in the region, so lots of people walking around. Please excuse us for the noise. I'm here with our senior business reporter, Dina Kamel, who's also an aviation specialist. Today we're sat in these lovely Fly Dubai seats. They're very comfortable, aren't they?
Yeah, they're great. We are testing them out today because Fly Dubai is in the middle of a retrofit program where they're going to have greater reclining on their business seats. So, very comfortable.
Now, this ATM event is huge, isn't it? It's one of the biggest travel events in the region. What have you learned this week? We've been hearing from people here in the region saying they're trying to attract 130 million people to the region, tourists, by the end of the decade. That seems a really big number and a big task. How do they plan to do that, Dina?
Well, Nick, it all fits, these plans all fit with the wider economic plans for the region to diversify away from oil, to attract more revenue from the non-oil sector, which includes travel and aviation. And part of that plan, of course, is to develop the aviation infrastructure to be able to attract and accommodate all of these tourists that they're hoping to get into the region. So we've seen, for example, Dubai talking about expanding a new passenger terminal at Al Maktoum Airport, DWC. We've already seen that Abu Dhabi has opened the new Terminal A.
Mission Impossible film with Tom Cruise running across the roof.
Exactly.
Spectacular entrance that was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Of course, further down the road, Saudi Arabia has announced plans for a brand new mega airport in Riyadh. So they are putting the infrastructure in place now and investing now to try and handle the forecast increase in tourist numbers.
And I've already been to Bahrain Airport, which was opened a couple of years ago as well, and that's also a fantastic venue, really smooth transition through the airport. Another great addition to the GCC offerings, I suppose. What are airlines doing, Dina? Here we are on the Fly Dubai stand. All the big players are here from the region. What are they doing to attract more people to the GCC?
Well, all the airlines that we've been talking to are seeing massive growth. They're all increasing their route network. They're opening new routes. They're buying planes. We've talked to the new airline startup, Riyadh Air, which is going to debut next year. They are in the midst of placing orders for wide-body and narrow-body aircraft to expand their fleet. They're talking about having more than 200 aircraft in the next 5 years. We've also talked to Emirates, who is going to prepare for their eventual move to Al Maktoum International Airport and the new passenger terminal there. They are hoping to have all their operations moved and shifted by 2034, so in a decade. And they plan to do it all in one go. Their chairman, Sheikh Ahmed, said yesterday, so this is going to be a gigantic undertaking, given the scope of their fleet.
Very ambitious, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, this industry has not been without its challenges. We've heard people this week talking about it showed its resilience, the industry, because of what happened with the pandemic and foot and mouth before that, and the volcanic ash clouds, etc., etc. It's bounced back, and it's bounced back even stronger this year. Now, the last 6 months or so, we've seen an issue with Gaza, of course, and in the Red Sea shipping disruption as well. How has that impacted tourism, and what is this region doing to counteract those issues?
Nick, that's a great question, and it depends on who in the region you ask. So the countries that are further away from the Israel-Gaza conflict are seeing less of a hard impact. So, for example, Dubai, they just announced their tourism numbers. Those were up 11% in the first quarter compared to the same quarter of last year. And
this is overnight stays?
Absolutely, international visitors. And that's a massive increase, and they've been able to attract more tourists with the attractions that they're opening up, with a diversity of the source markets that they are targeting, with some, of course, of the Chinese travelers that are coming back post-COVID. So that's, for example, a country like Dubai. When you get closer to the zone of the conflict, that's where perceptions of those countries tend to shift a little bit. We have talked with the Egyptian Vice Minister of Tourism, and they said, in fact, that since October 2023, when the Gaza war started, until now, they have managed to attract 8 million tourists. So that kind of underscores what they're saying is the stability and the security and safety of the country. Tourists are still coming. And in fact, Egypt wants to attract 30% more international tourists than it did last year. Last year, they recorded a record number of visitors, 14.9 million visitors. That's up 27% than the year before. So reaching that 30% target is for them not too far off.
I mean, these are big numbers, and the question will always be, how do they do that to that level of volume in that period of time? This region is changing, isn't it? We've seen collaborations with the cruise industry, with Abu Dhabi, Dubai, I think Oman and Bahrain coming together with this cruise partnership. They're looking to expand the rail network across the region as well. What else is happening in the region to attract more tourists into Saudi, for example? Saudi is changing very quickly as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Saudi is a growth story by itself. The people that we have talked to there, whether it's airlines, whether it's the heads of the mega tourism projects that are being opened there, like NEOM, like Red Sea Global, they are trying to showcase to the world that Saudi is open for business and to attract more international tourists. Their domestic market is very strong. Saudis want to visit the new attractions that are their own country. The challenge now is, how do you attract more international visitors to come? So huge marketing campaigns to the new projects and new tourism destinations there. You have the opening of they're planning to open a new airport in Riyadh. You have a new airline, which is Riyadh Air, which is really packing on aircraft orders. And the tourism ministry has got that whole infrastructure behind it. Now, the real challenges that are facing airlines now is they've got this great problem that there is so much demand for travel still after COVID, but there's not enough planes at the moment that they can get their hands on. There's a shortage at the moment of aircraft because plane makers Boeing and Airbus are not delivering them fast enough. There's a whole slew of supply chain problems at the moment that are delaying deliveries of these aircraft, and a lot of the airline CEOs that we've talked to have really, in no uncertain terms, expressed their frustration at this. They want to put more people on planes. That's how they make their money. Even when they get compensation from the plane makers, they would really, as the CEO of Etihad Airways told us, they would rather have the planes on time rather than get the compensation for the delayed aircraft.
So it's interesting times, and Dina's all over this issue with aviation and planes getting ready for market. So read her stuff at the National. It's always a great read, and great to see you again. Always good chatting to you, Dina, and enjoy the rest of ATM.
And you too. Thanks a lot, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, that's it for this week's edition of A Closer Look from right here on the floor of the Arabian Travel Market in Dubai. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time, and don't forget you can catch all the previous issues of A Closer Look on our YouTube channel. We look forward to seeing you next time.